You know a movie's in trouble when it desperately wants to be Legally Blonde, but ends up looking like its low-budget cousin who just stumbled into New York City holding a dream, a bus ticket, and absolutely no plan. That's Blonde Ambition. A film that thought it was giving us Elle Woods energy, but really gave us, wait, how did this get greenlit? It's not so much a romantic comedy as it is a long commercial for Jessica Simpson's hair extensions, with occasional plot detours. Our story begins in the tiny town of Minden, Oklahoma, a place where everyone apparently looks like they stepped out of a shampoo commercial and life goals include marrying your high school sweetheart. Katie Stitch, yes, that's the real name, not a typo, is set to marry Billy, her small-town fiancé, who has gone off to New York to make it as a model. Because, of course, he is. Katie's whole world is wedding dresses and white picket fences until Valentine's Day, when her kindly grandpa hands her a bus ticket to New York so she can surprise Billy. Sweet, right? Except when she shows up, she finds Billy in bed with someone else. Cue the record scratch, the heartbreak montage, the obligatory, I can't believe he did this to me scene that feels like deja vu from every romantic comedy ever made. Now, this could have been her Elle Woods moment. The pivot where heartbreak turns into ambition. But instead of deciding to prove her worth or take charge of her destiny, Katie just sort of wanders into her new life. Her cousin Haley, an aspiring actress who looks like she lives off expired granola bars and side hustles, convinces Katie to stick around in New York and start over. And Katie, armed with optimism and zero marketable skills, does exactly that. From here, Blonde Ambition turns into a game of narrative pinball. Katie bounces from one situation to another, never because of intelligence, wit, or cleverness, but because the universe seems to keep tripping over itself to help her. She stumbles into a job as a courier when Haley can't make her shift, accidentally delivers something important to a big construction company, and immediately catches the eye of Deborah, a power-hungry executive who sees her as the perfect pawn. Deborah gives Katie a makeover, lies on her resume, and gets her hired as secretary to the CEO, Richard Connolly. So far, so Legally Blonde, right? Except where Elle Woods studied, schemed, and strategized her way through Harvard Law, Katie just stands there smiling while the plot drags her around like a lost puppy in heels. She doesn't so much overcome obstacles as she floats past them, protected by the invisible force field of protagonist privilege. She gets fired? She flirts her way into a second chance. She leaks confidential information? Oops, no real consequences. She gets caught lying about her credentials? Everyone forgives her because she means well. Katie's not resourceful. She's just lucky. And look, luck can be a fun story tool, if it's part of the point. But Blonde Ambition treats Katie's constant good fortune like proof of her spark. The movie keeps telling us she's smart and capable, but never actually shows it. She doesn't learn. Things just happen to her. By the end, she's not empowered. She's just employed. That's where the movie really loses its way. Legally Blonde was about transformation. A woman dismissed as a ditzy blonde proving her intellect and breaking stereotypes through hard work and integrity. Blonde Ambition skips all that and assumes that because Katie's nice and blonde, good things should just fall into her lap. It's girl power without the power, a feminist outline written in glitter pen. Even the villains are cartoonish. Deborah, the scheming exec, feels like she's auditioning for a daytime soap. She's evil because the plot needs conflict, not because she has any believable motivation. Freddie, her assistant, is basically comic relief with a Wi-Fi connection. And when Katie finally outsmarts them, it's not through strategy or growth. It's because her friends pull an elaborate prank involving fake investors. The film wants to sell it as a you-go-girl victory, but it plays more like a sitcom plot gone rogue. And let's talk about the love story. Ben, the charming postman who's secretly the CEO's son, because of course he is, exists mostly to provide cute moments and exposition. Their romance has all the chemistry of a business merger. Every scene between them feels like it should end with an HR disclaimer. Now, here's the thing. On paper, Blonde Ambition could have worked. A small-town girl moves to the city, gets burned by love, reinvents herself, and proves her worth in the corporate world? That's a solid premise. Done right, it could have been Working Girl meets Legally Blonde, a story about resilience, independence, and identity. But instead of leaning into that, the film treats independence like a fashion accessory. Katie never chooses to take control. She just reacts. The script doesn't trust her to be competent or clever. It just keeps assuring the audience that her heart is pure, as if that's the same as being qualified. The result is a movie that's sweet but hollow, charming in flashes but built on empty calories. It wants to be empowering but doesn't understand empowerment. It wants to be funny but confuses energy with humor. And it wants to be romantic but forgets that romance needs tension and depth, not just two pretty people smiling in the same frame. If the writers had given Katie real drive, if she had earned her success instead of lucking into it, blonde ambition might have found its voice. Jessica Simpson could have surprised us with a performance that blended warmth with wit, like Reese Witherspoon did in Legally Blonde. Instead, she's stranded in a script that gives her no tools but charm and hope. So what we got wasn't a modern fairy tale about ambition. It was a story about coincidence, a rom-com that mistakes a makeover for a moral. Blonde Ambition wanted to prove that blondes can be smart too, but instead it proved that a good concept means nothing without good writing. Elle Woods bent the world to her will with pink determination and legal genius. Katie Gregor-Stitch just smiled until the world handed her a promotion. And that's why Legally Blonde is iconic. And Blonde Ambition is an IMDb trivia question. Because ambition without intention isn't empowerment. It's just luck in lip gloss. And let's not ignore the elephant, or rather, the Wilson in the room. Because Blonde Ambition didn't just borrow from Legally Blonde, it straight up raided its closet. They actually cast Luke Wilson as the love interest. Luke Wilson! The same man who was Elle Woods' patient, level-headed boyfriend in the original. It's like they thought, well, if we just rehire Elle's guy, people won't notice the rest of the movie's missing charm. Except they forgot something crucial. You can't sprinkle a little Luke Wilson on a bad script and call it Legally Blonde 3, the IQ drop. The poor man looks like he's been tricked into showing up to a table read for a parody that no one told him was real. You have to wonder, what was he thinking? Was it bad judgment? A misplaced sense of loyalty to the blonde cinematic universe? Or did the paycheck have that kind of zero count that makes you temporarily forget your career trajectory? Whatever the reason, watching Luke Wilson recycle his supportive nice guy routine here feels like watching your favorite teacher forced to substitute in a class full of kids throwing crayons. He's doing his best, but even he looks like he knows this isn't Harvard Law. It's remedial summer school for recycled plot lines. But hey, that's Blonde Ambition for you. A film so desperate to capture another movie's magic, it forgot to make any of its own. If you enjoyed this deep dive into cinematic disasters, don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment below. Tell me what movie meltdown, forgotten flop, or bizarre knockoff you want roasted next. Because Hollywood never runs out of ambition, just originality.